Admit Rob Barrett. When will you admit that Rob Barrett belongs on this call? There I see a face. I've just seen a face. I can't forget the time or place. Ask to unmute.
There we go. I've clicked unmute. I'm live. Hey, Malcolm.
Hello, Rob Barrett. I'm thinking about changing the name from My Name Isn't Luca now that Luca has
Is in.
Yeah. So I'm thinking about Friday Evening Convenience because it's you only do it if it's convenient, and of course that's a name that will resonate with anybody who went to George School and no one else. Because I could be wrong. I'd have to go and check the records, but I imagine that George School is the only place on earth, the only institution of any kind that refers to some sort of disciplinary measure as an inconvenience.
An inconvenience.
Well, I mean,
I like it. It's just so funny. Yeah, I remember it was so odd at the time.
Yeah,
and it was like the truest thing ever. The truest name of an actual. While you're in it, you're like, other people are having fun. The week is ended, and you are literally doing homework for Monday.
Yeah.
There's nothing else to do. The homework. So you're doing your homework so far in advance. It feels like, there's no. It's so funny. Yeah.
You're just sitting there. This is so inconvenient.
It was so inconvenient. I was at every single Friday evening inconvenience because I could not be not late to 3 classes.
Yeah.
And the times that I wasn't at Friday evening inconvenience, it's because my begging worked. Because I would I would say Claudia Fisher, I'd come in and I'd be like trying to say like that. I'm so sorry I'm late. And then she'd be like, I remember that I learned how to say something like beggingly in French. And she then said, okay, and didn't mark me down.
So you're like, Claudie, please don't mark me late. Please don't mark me late. She's like, en français.
Yes. S'il vous plaît, s'il vous plaît, s'il vous plaît, s'il vous plaît.
En français.
So Josh, we're talking about how I'm not sure if I'm going to repeat this for everybody, but I'm thinking since Luca has now joined us, the name of our chat can no longer be My Name Isn't Luca because
he's here.
Our name is Luca, collectively, right. At least a little bit.
When he's in the waiting room, he's going to be like, "What the hell's going on?"
It's going to be really incongruous when he's going to have to deal with that. But so to for honesty's sake, I've been thinking about changing the name, and Rob agreed to Friday Evening Convenience.
Yes.
Okay.
Because it is convenient.
Well, I mean, it's a convenient time. It's Friday evening to do this, but you only have to do it if it's convenient for your schedule. It's not obligatory unless I send like coded emails saying, "Hey, you really better make it this week because we got a big guest."
Yeah, but still keep it a surprise.
Yeah. I like it. Deuces.
Yeah. Okay. And so anyway, Rob was telling me about his how he basically had to go to Friday evening every week because he just could not bring it. He was incapable of not missing 3
time just got away from me
in a 2-week period. Just
couldn't do it.
Non-starter.
I would see the clock and I'd already be like 3 minutes, or like I just didn't think about the transit time from the building to the building.
No,
booking, coming in, sweating, huffing, puffing, and then if they go for the book and ready to mark me off or whatever. I mean, who knows?
I love that. En français. I don't even know what you're talking about. That's funny as hell.
Yeah.
Tu es le parle, donc vraiment, tu es le tech à la mode.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what you say as long as it's in French. Ballet, reservoir.
Côte d'Ivoire.
Festival.
Yeah. Rob, I remember in apartment house, yes, time was definitely not something that we were working on. But yeah, that's exactly how it was. Like, transit time.
Yeah.
I think with teleportation, that's not going to be a problem. So we're going to solve it.
Yeah, it will still be a problem because we'll be like, oh, I got plenty of time. I can just teleport there.
Yeah.
But that's the
Right.
reality is that you come in your first year, maybe even if it's not your first year, but you're living in Drayton, you're right there. It's like
Yeah.
the middle of, you
Campus.
can't live any closer to all the. I mean, yeah, if you have to go
Yeah.
down to,
Right.
maybe the
You're 30
science building's
seconds
a
from
little
any
far, you're
classroom.
far.
Right. You got one job.
Yeah, but like math building, the
Yeah.
history and English and language building, meeting or not meeting, but the Walton Center, it's just right there,
Yeah.
And I suppose coming from Orton, you got to go all the way around or through Maine.
Right.
And coming
Not
from
easy.
3-minute
Not easy.
sprint.
apartment house added a few minutes. If you live way off on Pile or airline, or whatever, that's another like 7 or 8 minutes probably. Rather.
Yeah, shoot. That's
And so
And
when you're
it's
in your
congested.
room and you realize the class is starting now,
Now.
you're looking at watching, it's like 9 o'clock exactly, and you're like,
Right.
ah! And you're grabbing books and you're just running. Just because if you can get there before 9:01, you're safe. You got that full 60
Great
seconds.
period.
So being in Drayton as a way to start on campus helped me.
Well, plus
Yeah.
we lived on 3rd or 4th Drayton, you get to pick up some speed going down all those steps.
Sure.
Yeah.
And just shoot you right out
Five
the
at a
door.
Stumbling, and at that age you can fall on knees on concrete a couple times on the way to class. You won't feel it.
Sure. Yeah, that's one definite thing about aging is kneeling down is not as much. I never even gave it much thought before, and
No. Now,
but-
hell no.
and I don't
Yeah.
understand because I always thought that when people's knees, where they went because of their aging, like, and they were, kneeling down, it was like the getting up or something, inside the knees. But it's just the front, like the kneecap. It just
Yeah.
hurts.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
I don't remember having like
God.
a lot of fatty deposits there before, but now it hurts to kneel. What's
You need
the
a
difference?
blanket,
What's going
a folded blanket.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
I need to get Rhazi in here.
It's terrible. No, knees are definitely a pain in the ass.
Well, what's different? Why is it that it didn't hurt to kneel before on, like wood or concrete or whatever, and now it does?
Well, it's just unpleasant. You know what? I think it's because that's beneath us. It's
Yeah.
like, I'm not kneeling when I scrub the floor, which is often, as you might imagine. I'm not kneeling on the floor without knee pads. It's like I can't do it. Like, why would I want to do
squat?
this?
But it didn't. But
This is not a third world nation.
So are you saying
not
that
yet,
it hurt before when you were younger and you would do something like that, but you just ignored it, and you're like, I'm not going to ignore it, or did it not hurt before?
I don't
No,
know.
I mean my tough skins had no knees on them, so I know that it didn't hurt because I was always on my
different
knees.
about the physical composition of your knee? It's not like the skin is so much thinner now. Why does it hurt to kneel when you're old like us and it didn't before?
Because we haven't kneeled in so long. We spent like the beginning years crawling. It's all on your knee, right? And then as we get older, we're taking a knee whenever the coach says, take a knee and listen to me talk for a while. And then, then you're also falling down and skidding a lot. And you're getting little Band-Aids put on those knees. It's almost developing a callus. And then you get your first temp job, and then those calluses go away. And by the time you're retired, those baby soft knees can't handle anything.
No, my God, no.
Well, I don't know if that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, but it does. But the reality is, it hurts now and it didn't before. And yeah, we had like when I would, Rob, you didn't have kids, but one of the things that when you have little kids, you have to bathe them, and we had this like about this big foam pad thing that it was for like gardeners, I guess, and we would put it right next to the tub so you could kneel on and wash your kids, because otherwise it's like
it hurts after a while.
Now.
Yeah, I do a lot of yoga, and so I have to do I'll have like a Mexican blanket that I'll flip over and different, so that it's different widths depending on how much I can take, because it's important, even sitting on the ground.
So how come you're not developing the calluses again, Rob, Mr. Soft Baby?
Oh, because I use the blanket. But I do. I'm okay going down. I can almost drop my knee to the ground, but it's if I hit it if I'm like really lower it down squarely, I feel good about it. But like the knees are like they're just if you ever whack it and once and you have
Yeah,
to,
it
I've never
hurts so
really
bad.
heard it. I've never heard it so I had a limp for any period of time or anything like that. But I, just hear stories of knee replacements and stuff like
Yeah.
that. My mom's are like been like, doing exercises to avoid knee replacements, and it's, it's just like knees are great, but they need a lot of love.
Well, I remember like, 5 or 6 years ago, I was at a local sports bar watching football, and the game's about to start, and it's 49ers, and the Colin Kaepernick, kneels down during the national anthem, and the guy next to me is like, "Can you believe this fucking shit? I can't believe it." I'm like, "Yeah, I know. I wish I were young like that and could kneel." Oh boy, from my knees,
Yes.
not a
Did you
chance.
did you get like a beer on your head, or is he just like, "Urgh"?
I made up the whole thing, but it's it's a little bit like, wow, he's gonna kneel through that whole song.
It's gonna hurt.
It's not even a long song,
He
but
should
sometimes they really
switch knees.
drag out that, home of the brave.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but
Home of
those
the-
grassy fields are much nicer than I can kneel outside in the grass a little bit.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But that would be funny if the real reason that Colin Kaepernick couldn't come back, that a number of NFL teams tried him out, but his knee was shot
From
all that
kneeling.
kneeling, and just
God.
Right.
to the physical, and he just didn't pass the physical because of his one knee.
Yes,
Kneeling.
but thanks to
Yeah.
I can kneel for as long as it takes.
Oh my God, I want to send you guys this. My friend Kevin sent me. Josh knows Kevin.
Kevin, yeah.
YouTube video that's just a series of commercials from the 1950s and 60s, I think, for Folgers, I think. And the premise of each ad is about husband and wife, and how the wife's coffee is terrible. And you're watching them, it's just jaw dropping, like that this is a commercial, and it's just like, how you feeling today, honey? Well, I'm all right, except that your coffee is terrible. And she's like, oh, my coffee, what's wrong with it? I don't know, but it's the worst thing I ever tasted. The foreman down at the plant, strains the coffee through his dirty socks, and it tastes better than this crap they used to. And it's just, this one where the guy, I don't remember what the wife says about her coffee, but he like stands up and gets his finger right in her face. He's like, "You admit it, your coffee's like poison." And it's just like, you can't even believe that these are. But I thought of a series that that we could. I would like to shoot like even more so. It's like, that's it, honey. I've had it up to here with you and your goddamn coffee, and he starts trying.
Yeah.
But like, really, these are where the women go for advice from Mrs. Folgers, like, or Mrs. Olson. She's like, what am I gonna do? My coffee is so terrible. It's ruining my marriage. And she's like, well, you need mountain grown Folgers. And you're like,
Oh yeah,
bliss.
Mountain grown. Yeah.
Yeah, she was, because she's Mrs. Olson from Scandinavia, knows all about growing coffee beans in the mountains. Sure, Mrs. Olson. If that is your real name. Yeah.
And if you're really from Scandinavia.
He's like, oh, I've been having an affair with Juan Valdez for 2 decades. I know all about it. He never complains about my coffee. But anyway, so all right, so
how's Kevo doing?
He's he still lives in Arlington, Virginia, lovely Arlington, Virginia.
Yes,
our old stomping grounds. And
remember it well.
Back
Does
in
he
his
still
old
live in that
building.
big apartment? In that high rise?
He's still there. He comes
no
out
way. Get out. Are you serious?
Yeah. This is very exciting for Rob. Yeah.
Well, I mean, just for a minute. Oh my God.
I don't know if I've met him.
He's got staying power.
He's a computer programmer type. He lives alone, so he's made a fair amount of money, and he's very into like postmodern stuff and like modern looking furniture. And he bought like a rug and this very modernist furniture, a couple pieces of furniture. He likes this artist named Shag, who does these 50s inspired sort of like, I don't know, it's hard to describe, but people at cocktail parties, but they're all definitely sort of 50s. And so he bought, he has furniture that sort of is similarly inspired. And he got tired of it, so he gave it to Kurt Wolfram, some of these pieces. and Kurt at the time had small children. So, and Kevin kept an immaculate apartment and everything
Oh
was
boy.
so, and Kurt had small children. It's like, there's like, it's so crazy because Kurt's furniture was mostly like stuff left out on the street until he got Kevin's like super nice, like
Shit.
very stylish and stylistic furniture. And it didn't belong in his apartment at all. And then he's got like, spaghetti stains on.
Oh God.
Right. Markers, crayons.
Yeah, like Kevin, I'm not going to tell you what happened to your furniture.
Don't mention.
It served a purpose for quite some time, I imagine.
Kill yourself.
Yeah.
We have another entrant.
We have an entrant.
I have to get another vote. Who's
yeah. Oh, there is a volcano that exploded in the Caribbean just like minutes ago.
Really?
Yes, and it's a volcanic, and then it showed like a cruise ship sailing into it, because they can't deviate. So a port to port, So they're gonna go take a
volcanic eruption. I don't think that's the expression.
Oh, is it volcanic? Oh, there we go. Yes, and
yeah.
That
Friday night.
Is that the same volcano that was in Montserrat?
I think we're having trouble connecting with Rhazi. Well, hopefully he'll be able to join us.
Well, he'll have answers for we are the little men in the box. Join us.
Figure out his tech issues.
How's Kurt doing? Have you talked to him?
Yeah, I talked to him a few days ago. He's he won't admit to impersonating Luca, which I suspect he did. Although he was very disappointed. Nobody sent him any money. You were on that call, right, Josh?
Yes. That was. Oh my God, that's when he was on his way to Florida, right? On the bus.
I think he had gotten back from Florida by then. He was, but yeah. So he's the same. He and I have been talking about doing a podcast together for about 15 years, and the running joke is the podcast is just going to be talking about the podcast itself and about what we want to do with it.
You know what? It's like that one Seinfeld. Like, it's a coffee table book about coffee tables.
Exactly. Rhazi, with us?
A podcast about talking about podcast. Sure.
You gotta unmute your
Hey, hit that subscribe button.
Hit that unmute. Smash that unmute button.
There we go.
We got audio.
Let me hear it. Let me hear you sing. Yeah.
All right. So Raz, I want to run by you as I've been doing the other gentleman here. Now that Luca has at least tentatively joined us, I feel like it's not appropriate to call this "My Name Isn't Luca" anymore. So I want my new name for suggested name, and partially in tribute to Rob's George School career, is Friday Evening Convenience.
It's Friday Evening Convenience.
Convenience,
because
that's the thing. It's convenient
because it's Friday.
As opposed to
inconvenient. And if it's convenient, you can make it. If you can't, then But I will warn you: if you are late to 3 different Zoom meetings in 2 weeks, then you will be forced to come to Friday Evening Convenience. Because you get 3 checks in 2 weeks.
I think that's a brilliant add-on. I think that's
and you got to turn your camera on. You can't have it on time.
Late to 3, you have to bring a guest or bring somebody that is becomes the interviewed.
A naked woman.
Or you have to bring
anybody. Talk to Matt Gates.
So Rob,
some form of entertainment. You have to tap in.
Rob, you came as a new junior, and that year we were still on the 3 checks in 2 weeks. You get a Friday evening plan, but your senior year had they changed it to the 10 checks in a whole term? Because I remember they changed it, and so if you couldn't be late to 10 classes in a whole per term before you got like suspended or something. I think it was more serious than just a Friday evening or a Saturday morning.
Get out.
You didn't get kicked out.
I think there was a certain amount in a month, because at first I remember being quite happy with the concept of just going to this extra class every week.
Right. Hey,
I couldn't.
I think it's worth it.
3 classes, and so if that's the trade-off, I'll just rip 5 minutes late to everything. and yes, I remember there being an issue with that, and I remember I almost remember like a certain amount of Friday inconveniences then like jumped up to you now got a Saturday morning work detail or something like
Oh
that.
yeah.
Yeah,
And that
I remember.
sucked.
Yeah,
Just
it
run
would
out the
step up.
clock on the school
Yeah.
year.
Yeah, so that kind of blew because like the only thing I had already felt like I'd done my time and then they just added time to it.
No,
Because
you're a
I
convict.
wasn't afraid of doing time, they added like extra time. And so that and work detail was like, you know, like raking leaves and
Yeah.
cleaning stuff or, you know, it was
I never got either Friday evening or a Saturday morning, but I wonder, like, so when
mud, get a shovel mud.
if yeah, just shoveling, digging holes and filling them back in again. So
I think we actually had to do the stables at one point in time. It was like shovel shit.
Oh
And
but like
shit!
this pile of horse shit needs to be over here. This
Right.
pile of horse shit needs to be
Be over there.
here.
We need
Did
to
someone put
switch
wrong?
this shit.
just need to swap piles.
Yes.
It
One
don't
of
ask.
piles
I'll
of
tell you
shit-
why later. It's very important that it be done.
No, but I'm trying to think if they changed it because like under the old system, the 3 checks in 2 weeks, say you're late to 3 classes in the first couple of days of that 2-week period, and it's like, well, I guess I'll just be late to the rest of my classes this 2 weeks because
Right. Shoot the
you
moon.
get like 30 checks. What's the difference? And that's why they changed it. Or could you know, if you were late to like 6 classes in a week, then you get 2 Friday evenings, and you just, you know, they just add them on. That would seem brutal. But I do remember that, you know, it was always weird to me whenever they would make these sorts of changes, because when you come to a school or whatever, and they have these established policies, you just assume this is the way it's always been. It's just, you know, these are set in stone, and then they change them. You're like, what? You changed it? Because I remember our freshman year, when we came, everybody had a co-op, but they changed everybody always had a co-op the whole time, but they made the rule change our freshman year, I think, or maybe sophomore year, that you couldn't just pay somebody to do your co-op for you. Rhazi, you remember that?
Vaguely.
People would pay like $5 to go do their shift for them or whatever it was.
Right, go like erase the boards or something.
Well,
Yeah,
when we were freshmen,
or something.
we were all on shift, you know. We were working slop or pull or line.
Yeah,
pull.
You couldn't get someone to pay somebody to do slop. Slop was something everybody just had to do.
Well, no, everybody had to do all 3 of them, I think, but line was just, you were like, you know, putting the next plate of or bowl of Jello up in the display case as they were pulled, you know, and you just, you know,
yeah, but they'd be super hot and you'd have like these mitts.
Well, that was pull.
For pull, you had the mitts. Yeah,
pull was
like
unloading the dishes from that super high, and they were like they were cloth or something, but they got soaked immediately, and it was just awful. And then they had the plastic glove, you know, the little fake, the disposable plastic gloves. And that was for slop, where people would just, you know, shove their giant piled on, like after Rhazi had just gotten paid,
a lot of curdling going on.
Yeah,
you know, Rhazi would get paid to eat some pile of disgusting filth that everybody had thrown together, and then they'd eventually bring it to slop and just, you know, shove it in. Here you go, asshole. And you gotta dump out all the crap on it.
Have my milk and bug juice. How about that?
Yeah, it is like people on slop do not get respect. You do not feel
It's so funny
that when you're emptying teachers' trash cans, you get a little bit of respect, a little conversation.
Yeah, sweeping out a classroom was nothing, but everybody had to do shift. I love how they just call it shift. Like, you're gonna put in your time on a, you know. Everybody had to do it at least once, and so like there were some freshmen who didn't get shift, and you know, in Orton, I don't remember who it was. They thought, because I clean out Paul McAmer's classroom. Whoopie-doo, you know, that's no big deal. But then sophomore year, all of us had done our time, and then they had to do it. It's like, sucker, because it's mostly for new students. I assume you did it junior year, right, Rob?
Yeah, exactly. I think I was the only junior in slop at the time, but yeah.
And then senior year, I don't know what it was, but when you're a prefect, you know, that's your co-op, so you know, you don't have to do any sort of menial labor anymore.
I love that.
I had
Here you go, asshole.
single best co-op ever at George School.
What was that?
Well, AV was everybody loved, you know, you tried to get AV because you work with Pete Miles. All you do is go show movies once a week or something. But you said you had something better than that, Ross?
I had it better than that, man. I wielded power.
What would that be? You worked at the
Nerve
PO?
center of George School.
You worked.
Oh, you mean the
worked-
nerve center or the Get on My Nerve Center?
You worked at the bookstore at Betsy's place.
No, man, I was the TO.
Oh,
you TO.
That was
TO?
an important job.
Yeah,
I
you
got a
made
lot of
change.
calls.
Dude,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know what? I could like hook people up during like study hall. I'd be like, hey
TO.
man, you want to talk at like 7:15 or 7:45? I got you.
Right,
Wow.
right.
Yeah.
Do something for me.
Yeah.
Eh.
I like that.
Yeah, roller.
That was
Baller.
When you, from the main hall, looking in through those glass doors, the sliding glass doors, you couldn't see if there was a girl down there on her knees. Speaking of bad knees,
The
That's
TO. Man, what
changing
Or a
changing
boy,
a
don't
phone
like
call at
you.
8:30. Yeah, you also made change there, right? The TO was for making change, also, right?
That's
Ron?
right. That's
That's
right.
why that's why those change machines are on the belt. You know, those little like
Yeah,
so that
for video arcades.
so if you do get caught, it's I was just getting change.
I was just
I was on my knees getting
why is
change.
my change all sticky?
Yeah. you know. Depends on what kind of slot you're putting them in.
So, Roz, was what year did you do that? Junior year, sophomore year, or what?
Yeah, probably junior year because we didn't have a co-op senior year, right?
Right, and they wouldn't have given it to you freshman year.
Or sophomore.
Yeah, especially because sophomore year they would have been like, "What is this guy chose to stay in Orton? You can't trust him."
Right. That's right.
So did you have to like apply and do an interview for TO? Because that sounds like a very exclusive position.
Yeah, I mean, it was not easy to get. I don't know how I got into it. I just stumbled into it. It's not like I actively sought it, but I think I just came across it. Looked cool. I put in for it and I got it.
Cool, man.
I have
Should've done
no idea what my other
Just put
co-op
in.
was.
Put in.
And you had a little kind of like a little room in there, like a lair where you
Yeah,
could
yeah,
you
that's right.
just
With-
glared out at people. And
Yeah,
you could say no. Like if someone asked you, you'd be like, no.
Well,
Well,
sometimes
that's
I wouldn't
the
even say no. I would just close the window. I'd be like,
when you're in high school and you're an adolescent, you want to be like in the middle of you want to be the center of attention. You want like to be where the action is. And the TO was right by the East Porch there. That's everybody came in.
Yes,
Everybody-
right.
So you're not really in the middle of the hallway, but you're a focal point for the whole campus. And I'm
Yeah.
sure you're right. As a co-op, that would be awesome. And you get a little bit of power. And it's not like
Yeah.
slop. You're like, yeah, this
No.
is, I don't want to have anything to do with this. Or you're off, cleaning a classroom or something that's off by yourself. Here you get to be a little bit of a position of power, and it's everybody's oh hey Roz, hey Rhazi, oh, hey Rhazi.
Hey.
yeah, it was
Hey,
great.
hey,
Like I'd be behind the glass trying to make eye contact with like certain people, like Rachel would be walking by, I'd be like,
She was like, Rhazi, do I have a call? Why
Yeah,
are you
it's
doing
like, yeah, your parents called. They just said, yeah.
yeah, Isabel.
Rhazi, that was the look that when Molly Ringwald gets on the bus in 16 Candles and she goes to the guy in the seat behind her is like,
Yeah.
and then she's like, ugh, and turns around and sits down like, eh. That's what Rhazi's doing.
I tried.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I remember that definitely. Like you kind of wondered, like, who is that man behind the curtain?
Yes, mystery.
What does he wield?
Yeah.
How did he get there?
Yeah.
And why do I have like bug juice and milk all over my hands?
Well, no, not only that, but I would also receive phone calls like from outside. See, like when you call George School, they would call that would be the main line.
Oh.
And then I would say, hello, this is George School. This is Rhazi. How can I help you? And they're like, can you please connect me with this department or this office or this hall? And I would be like, sure, no problem. Please stand by. Click.
Did you have wires that you had to like put into like?
No, it was all push button. It was just like it's like a panel with buttons for every like dormitory hall. Certain areas. So it was really cool. Yeah. And sometimes I felt like just saying no.
Yeah.
I won't connect you.
No. Yeah, I won't. No.
Not with that attitude.
Try back tomorrow.
Yeah.
Call back tomorrow.
Fix your attitude and try again tomorrow, pal.
Yes.
Here at George School, we use a couple of words called please and thank you.
Yeah. It's actually 3 words, but you know.
You're not feeling the respect.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, you hear your you know that you've gotten in trouble, and it's your mother or father on the line. It's like, I need to speak with David Bournes about apparently there's some issue with my son. You're like, disconnect.
Click.
Or I could just forward it to like Kurt and have you take care of it.
That would be the thing to do. Yes, get somebody that's standing by for the to send all that to.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember what your other co-ops were besides obviously TO and Shirt and being a prefect? I have no idea.
I don't remember them.
I have no recollection.
I was sweet. I know I did a classroom. I did.
Yeah.
I had like a big broom that was like one of those like yarn laden ones that was like 3 feet wide, and if you twisted the handle, it would turn so you could steer it between the desks.
Right.
And I would like push a huge pile of like dirty dust into a corner, and then I would I think I had one of those dust pans, and then I had to do the erasers because back I don't think I even knew what a dry erase marker was.
Clapped against the back of the building.
Right.
Yeah, and that was a good job to have too. I remember in 2nd grade I was like, I always wanted to do that job. Clap erasers.
It's kind of cool when you bang them together and you get the puff of smoke comes out.
Yeah, and you breathe in all that talc.
Yeah. Half talc, half asbestos. Sure.
Isn't that really good for you now?
Now in the 70s, it might have been asbestos or lead.
Yes.
It's a lead chalk. It's really bright.
It lasts forever.
So does my brain damage.
So what classroom was it, Josh?
Actually, I think it might have been Pam McAmer's classroom. Might have been my math classroom. Yeah, which is that I think that I might have been most successful when I was sweeping up, as opposed to Algebra 2, because polynomials were. The polynomials were everywhere. So
that's a good little test. Like you have
everywhere.
You know how like in
I hate these things, damn it.
Polynomials.
Fucking polynomials.
But in Good Will Hunting, you know how Matt Damon solves the problem that you just go, he's just the janitor and he comes and solves the problem. That should be like, Josh comes in and he sees the problem on the board. He's like, he grabs the broom and starts sweeping.
I'm just gonna sweep up.
Straight to vocational school for you, son.
That's hard.
Or I think, and then erase the problem and clap out.
Yeah. Right. I didn't know there was a problem there. I never saw one.
Yeah.
I took care of the problem. The problem is taken care of.
I just erased the problem.
Well, Rob, what about you? Right? Rob, what was your co-op senior year?
I had to empty the trash cans in the language teachers like hangout area. So that my senior year was that.
It's super easy. How easy is that?
All the time, so easy I would forget it, and somebody would gently remind me that the
Saturday morning
can needs to be emptied and that the printer is out of ink. It wouldn't be out of ink but once a month. And that's a tough thing for a kid to remember, like monthly things.
Yeah, I like the idea of
chime in. But
Rob goes into the French the language teacher's lounge, and he's like,
empty the ashtrays. They were French.
Right. We need to where's your garbage can? And like, en français, Rob.
On Espanol, it would be like, it would be I'm talking to.
Because in Latin.
Even the Latin teacher was in there. Hymnus omnibus verbatim.
Oh man, I'm just glad this isn't going on the net. That's for sure. Wait. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
but that
Kurt's not here. We're not saying anything terrible, actionable.
No, I'm
for Rhazi, and Rhazi, for the first time, he was purely complimentary toward Rachel Rabinowitz.
Yes,
but when you're in that TO, you can't see their feet.
No,
Dude, she was hot. She was hot, man. I mean,
yeah.
I just remember like the first time I saw her in jeans, it was like a screeching stop, you know.
And feet can be cured with a good pedicure, you
Yeah.
know.
Well,
And
this was
a nice
that was
color
the
brings
feet
up
was
the
a later issue, right? The feet was a reunion issue. We're talking about at George School
Okay.
proper. That was
Yeah.
not a concern.
But
back then.
actually, even when I saw her at the reunion, I thought she was really pretty.
Ooh.
The one that got away. Now, Roz, why didn't you ever
What's her
pursue her?
status? What's her status?
No, oh my gosh, I don't know.
She
You
is
want the one that got
involved?
away.
Too far.
She might not
So,
have gotten away. Where does she live?
I think she's in like Bucks County, someplace. She owns a high end, I don't know if it's a high end consignment or if it's high end new retail, but she has like a high end clothing store. I think.
Oh,
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I think she's doing really well.
Yeah, fashion and probably
Cool.
looking good and fashion.
Did I mention was it last week? I don't know, about George Siegel. I told you, oh, I know, I emailed you guys about George Siegel. You know the actor George Siegel?
Yes.
Yeah.
He died recently, but he went to George School.
Yes.
I didn't know
And
that.
yeah, so he went to George School. Josh, do you know who this is?
He was
No.
in Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf as a young.
Yeah, he was nominated for an Academy Award for Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, but he was more recently, he was on the TV show Just Shoot Me with
Just Shoot
David
Me with
Spade,
yeah.
and he was on a show called The Goldbergs. I'm sure you would recognize him if you saw
What
him.
year was he?
He was class of like 51 or something, so he was 87
Oh, wow.
when he died. But
Any
yeah,
relation to Pete Siegel?
no, it's spelled differently.
George Siegel.
But the point of it is that he was married. He got his wife died, then he got remarried, and then he got a divorce or one or the other. I don't forget which happened first. But then he he didn't go to his 45th reunion, but he got in contact with somebody got in contact with him, and he resumed interactions with his high school sweetheart, his first girlfriend, his first love. They lost their virginity to each other, and so on and so forth, from George School, and they got back together and got married again. And
Oh, wow.
they were together until he died, which was just a couple weeks ago. And it's such a heartwarming story, but it's also like, you know, my sister, her story also, that she's now with Buck Dowdell, you know,
Yeah.
and isn't that like the dream? Like you go back to the reunion and, you know, independent of what your current attachment might be, but like, you know, you and Rachel Rabinowitz, like, you know, I
Mike.
across the room, and then, you know, and the great thing is that because we're all old now, they're old ladies, we're old men, but if something does happen, you knew them back then, and that's what you'll remember.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
you'll become young together and like spin around into ecstasy.
well, no, if I saw Rachel right now, I mean, and actually, even when I saw her at the reunion, all the high school insecurities came rushing back, and I just remember like being like thoroughly rejected at the graduation party. I was like, "Hey, Rachel,
Really?
what's up, yo?" You know, and she's just like, "No."
Mm.
Well,
Right.
maybe had she not heard that you were a bad boy, a criminal?
Yeah. She didn't.
I'm
She didn't know
raw.
all
Oh
the
my
sides
God.
of it. She hadn't learned. She would right now, looking back, she would obviously regret.
Yeah, you should have been like,
Throw you a grimace.
help me get these handcuffs off of me and onto you.
Yes, exactly.
That would work.
So there's certain things you never know where it could go. So
Yeah.
So it's like, did she have any idea that you had the hots for her all 4 years, Roz, or was she oblivious and then seemed that you wait to spring it on her at the graduation party?
I have no idea. I do. I mean, I was always too nervous to talk to her at all during George School. We did talk a couple of times. I remember her being nice, but I never actually said anything. And then at the graduation party, actually, I had like a few drinks, and I was feeling pretty confident about myself. So I kind of walked up to her. She was actually sitting by the side of the pool. There was a pool there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she was sitting on the side of the pool with the one of her friends, day student, blonde hair, crazy blue eyes, tall, really popular.
Girl or boy?
Girl. So it'll come back, but I know that doesn't really help with this description. but she actually she was at the reunion with Rachel, and I think that was the last time.
What
That
were
would
her
have been
feet
like
like?
3 years ago, 4 years ago.
Okay, so you approached them both?
Yeah, I kind of approached them both, thinking, either would be fine.
Right.
But I was kind of
Stark.
like, targeting my, Rachel's attention, thinking I'd never see her again. So this is my last chance.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm sure I fumbled through it and just made an ass of myself.
Yeah, you think you walk out and like, say, if you ladies aren't occupied for the next hour or so, you'd like to spend some time with the Rhazi man? And they're like, no, that's all right, thanks. Like, oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
Running away.
This is probably what happened. I don't think I said anything like, like offhanded or off-colored or anything derogatory. I think I was trying to say something along the lines of just breaking into the conversation, and it probably went something like this. I was like, "Blah."
Yeah.
And then they just looked at me like, "What's wrong with this guy?"
Oh no, Rhazi, they were probably like, yeah, we get that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happens
Josh,
all
where's
the
your
time.
yearbook? Shouldn't you be looking up Rachel Rabinowitz, who was on her page? And see
I
if
know.
it's
I
the same
need to
person?
leap up and
Oh,
get it.
actually, it was that blonde girl that was on her page, I think.
Let's do that.
I found her Facebook page.
Yeah, but it's whoever she had with her on the same yearbook page senior year is probably who it was.
Wait.
That's who she most likely would be.
Wait.
hanging
You
out
mean
with.
Facebook as in the new Facebook?
Oh
The
yeah,
George School
I
Facebook. Yeah.
found her. There she is with her dog.
Oh, Rob found her on the actual on the Facebook.
Let me.
Oh,
Let me.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
Wait. Hold on.
This still looks good, man. She still looks
Oh
good.
yeah, that is her.
Yeah. And actually the girl that she was sitting with, the blonde girl, I remember senior year, she came up to me and she grabbed me and she's like, like she kind of shook me like this. And she had a big smile on her face. She's like, I can't believe it.
I totally forgot how she looked. That's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
this blonde girl
Sure,
shakes
sure.
me and she's big smile. She's like, yeah, oh yeah.
Okay, she rocked that
Hold on,
hairstyle.
Yeah, that's the Facebook photo. But where's the yearbook photo, Josh? The yearbook photo is the one that's going to
There we go. Oh, back up a little bit.
So this blonde girl shakes me and she's
Yeah, let
like,
me go
you
get
got
it.
into UVM. That's where I wanted to go.
She rocked that hair with the whole like
So
bandana thing.
So Rachel's friend, who we will find out who it is momentarily, who was blonde, day student, but we can't.
Beautiful eyes, beautiful smile. I mean, she's tall.
On day student, beautiful eyes, beautiful smile.
She
And,
wanted to go to UVM but didn't get in.
I think so. And she found out that I did. She came over and I mean, she's being really friendly about it. And she just grabbed me and like shook me and in a kind of a congratulatory way. And I was one of the happiest moments in my life, dude.
I like it. I like
There's
that.
Rachel. Oh man, look at that. I mean,
Yeah, she's hot.
so who's the blonde girl on
She
that
looks
page?
like an adult.
She's
Yeah,
stylish.
Yeah, she does. Especially when she has jeans on.
Who is on her page with her, Josh? Who did she share a page
Let's
with?
see. Well, here's another picture of her. Melissa.
her, man.
Was it Melissa Bretz?
Melissa
Yeah.
Brett. Oh yeah, dude. She's a goddess.
Yeah, she was hot. So like we got to make a list, Rouse, and then we're gonna find out which one of these ladies
And
is
then
single
on the other
and
side,
ready to be your future.
Oh yeah, and Mary McBride. She was really cool. We were in music together.
She's a singer, musician.
A Grammy
sure
Award
what?
winner.
She won a Grammy?
Yeah. She won a
won a
Grammy for a
Grammy?
song in Brokeback Mountain.
Oh.
really? Wow. Cool.
Yeah. And she's on tour. She goes on tours
Yeah,
around
they
the
go to,
world.
well, not now, obviously, but they go to like Kazakhstan and
Right.
Syria and like crazy places.
Yeah.
Wow.
She and her band.
That's cool. We should see them the next time they're in one of the places.
Well, but like they like only play at homeless shelters and like I mean it's a crazy thing.
Prison.
I can dress down.
No, but you would. I mean, I'm sure they would let you come, but you'd have to get in touch with them before. It's like an invitation only, but they play it at a.
Bring your orange shirt.
Bring that sweater. Oh no, your wife made you throw it away. Oh yeah, you have to grow out your beard and mustache again, Rob.
Yeah, when I grow the beard, I can blend right in. They'll just give me
the Unabomber look.
Yeah, exactly. Just don't bomb us.
So my point is, Roz, I don't give up on Rachel Rubino's. And what I remember about her is that she tended to like hang out with, I mean, day students, but like upperclassmen. Like she would be hanging out with like R.J. Wiley and people who like.
Right. Well, you know, I mean, because
People
her older brother, what was her older brother's
David?
name?
David?
Yeah, I think that's it. He used to hang out with like R.J. Wiley and Matt Tower, all those guys, and you know, because they were day students, she probably saw them around the house, you know.
Yeah, and she just, you know, she knew them through her brother. Hope we lost Rhazi's audio.
Yeah, you're muted.
Audio. He's muted. I was still muted.
Like, I'm clarifying why I'm muted. You still
exactly. I love the old, like, if you haven't been able to read lips up until now, here's a little something.
I like we lost both Josh and Rhazi at the same time.
Yeah.
Like they went off to make out together or something. Yeah. All this talk of Rachel. Oh, there's Josh. Josh is back.
Something went on. But I think this is a very good, I like this quest. So I think that the past is shown, your sister and Buck and more prominently from town, like George Siegel and
my dad did it too.
Your dad?
I mean, he didn't start dating and marry anybody. I mean, he married my mom and they went to George School together. So, so they did it on the front end. But no, he apparently went back to reunions and hooked up with some old classmates.
Wait, your parents were married while they were attending George School?
No, but they both attended George School together and then later on got married.
And then they stayed with it. Okay, that's cool.
He was a year ahead of her.
But still, George School has a magic sort of thing, and so that I think that
but I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about he went to reunions and hooked up with old classmates when he was single again. After my parents only stayed together for 5 years. He got married to my stepmother. They were married for like 30 some odd years. But then after that, at reunions, he hooked up with old classmates.
So what we need to like, is he available for a conversation?
Yeah, we should get him on.
What techniques work with George School alums to get Rhazi
and Kurt?
Well, I think that the point is that, you know, much like Rhazi was talking about having these you know, all these nervousness, and you know, it comes back to him when he sees her at a reunion. Like, just put that aside and be like, I'm old, and they're, you know, it's not like they're in their prime either.
Yeah.
But you know, it's you know, they can recapture, you know, there's so much I think as when we're young as boys, we're taught that like girls, they have to give it up or they don't want to or whatever, when they won't do just as much as you do. But they're also being told you're not supposed to want it, you know. So there's all sorts of mixed messages going on. But by the time we get to be our age and we're old, we realize, you know, we're all looking, and that's part of
everybody's got their own weird stuff going on. So that's the thing is, I bet she wouldn't see that interchange with Rhazi as the same way.
No,
she would
of course not.
No, I mean, I can see good things happening.
Yeah, who knows?
It's the Nina Luke, you know, this horrible thing that Nina Lou said to Dave Littman when he said he wished he had asked her to the senior dinner dance, and she said, "Oh, you should have," or no, he asked her, but she had already said she was going with somebody else, but she would have gone with him. Oh, good.
I mean, you asked me early. Yeah,
you should have asked me earlier. So
she almost wanted to switch herself, but couldn't.
So there's this percent. I think Rhazi, you are probably wholly mistaken that Rachel was existing on a different plane from you in her own. I'm sure she had her own all kinds of, you know, perceived shortcomings and nervousness and so on and so forth. So if you go back to reunion and see her, you're like, oh yeah, why didn't we ever hook up? You know, like,
yeah.
What never happened between you? You were always pretty cute. When did that ever happen? And she's not gonna be like, you like, as if, you know.
She might be like,
yeah. She does it again.
Yeah. But this time you're all like, who cares?
But I definitely think it would go differently. I think it would go differently. But she seems to be wrapped up in some guy named Rice.
Well, that these are complications, and that's that's why you always have a plan B. Maybe Melissa Brett's would be plan B.
Yeah.
You know. So Josh,
Actually,
now,
I would say plan A and plan A.
Yeah. There
That's
we
the way.
go.
Now you're gonna get it done.
Yeah, we gotta
plan
get a
A
bunch
and
of
plan
plan
A plus.
A's lined
Yeah.
up. Let's get like some plan A's lined up and get some of these ladies. They need a little Rhazi sunshine in their lives.
Wait,
Yeah,
Josh, who did you go to the senior dinner dance with?
Eliza Fox.
Oh, but
Yeah,
there was
she
nothing
was
going on
cool,
between
man.
you.
Let me get my yearbook. No, there wasn't. It was just I don't know.
Did you have any ambitions in that direction?
Probably not, but I was horny, so
I
I gotta get mine somehow.
So who was your Nina Lou? Who was when you look back on your time at George School, how do you reflect, and who was the young lady that caught your fancy the most during that time, Josh?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I probably liked well, I don't know. I mean, I always liked Sarah. She was nice. I liked the Man of Widows.
Sarah
Shepherd. I always liked her.
Shepherd?
She was a good friend. I liked Amanda Widows too.
I thought Sarah Shepherd was kind of cute.
Yeah.
I liked her, and I don't think anything would have happened, but
Oh, she signed your yearbook. That's nice.
yeah,
Good time, huh?
quite
really cool. I liked her.
Are they all on the same page?
Lila Haight.
Oh, Lila. And is
Lila,
Sarah
yeah.
Shepherd also on that page? Oh yeah.
Yeah. And they all had their baby pictures, which
Oh.
yeah, I didn't. And so yeah, I think that would probably.
That's cute. Yeah. So Sarah Shepherd went to Pitzer along with Lila, and I was at Pomona. And Adam was there too, obviously. And they lived on like the same hall and shit. And Amanda Widows was also there.
I think I remember that. Yes.
And Sarah got on my nerves so much that it drove me crazy.
Really?
But
In college.
Yeah, it was.
Hey, Malcolm.
It was a whole thing.
Malcolm, what was the name of the girl who was Adam's classmate at Pitzer, right? Is that where you went? No, where did Adam go?
Pitzer, and then he went to Vassar.
Right. So there was a girl he used to hang out with at Pitzer. She used to carry around all her paraphernalia in like this plastic fish.
Was it Ruth?
Oh, that was a friend of
Ruth. That's it, Ruth.
How did you know Ruth? Did you ever go out to Pitzer?
So no. So actually, I can't believe you remembered Ruth. Yeah. So, and the fish was the connection, wasn't it? I'm surprised.
I don't remember the fish, but I remember. I mean, I remember.
I remember the fish.
When did you meet Ruth?
And she like swimming around, and that would just be a sign, that something's about to happen.
So I went out. My aunt and uncle live in Palos Verdes.
Oh, okay.
And I was out there visiting, and somehow I got in contact with Adam, and he came to pick me up at my aunt and uncle's place, and it was Adam, Ruth, and I think there was another person in the car. The car was full, and we basically just rolled down the windows and sampled the fish and just drove around for like 3 hours. And then he tried.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
Really
She kept her stash in the fish. That's right. Yes.
And then Ruth and I kind of got to be friends, and I don't know what happened, if Adam was leaving or whatever, but Ruth and I ended up like getting together again like later on. I mean, platonically, but we took my two nieces to Disney World. Is it Disney World or Disneyland?
Disneyland in California.
Disneyland.
Yeah, so we took them to Disneyland for the day, which was a lot of fun. And I just remember like the fish, like the.
Wow, that's crazy. So this must have been, I'm guessing, if it was during the school year, it must have been second semester sophomore year. Does that make sense?
Well, I don't know that it was during the school year. It might have been during because I was out there to visit, so it might have been like summer. Well, if Disneyland is open, or
Disneyland's
Disney
open
World,
year-round.
then it's
It's year round.
yeah,
Because
that's right, California.
so,
Well,
but Adam wouldn't have necessarily been there if the school was out. I don't know where Adam would be. I don't know.
I remember the Phish in Jersey, in Princeton or Somerville or wherever Adam lived in Jersey, and we
Yeah.
were
Somerville,
staying
yeah.
at his house.
So
And-
maybe it wasn't the Phish.
and she woke us up with a fit with Phish and was like, wake and bake. And then she broke out the Phish. Yeah,
That's right.
And I think it was Six Flags or something that we went to, or maybe it was some. Did we go on a big trip to a fair or like to a?
Well, that's right. Ruth came to visit on the East Coast too. Was that
that's where I remember meeting her at Adams during the summer, and it might have involved a road trip from like maybe Cape May up to middle of Jersey, where Adam lived in Somerville or wherever it was. Was it Somerville?
Yeah,
Somerville, yeah, Somerville.
His mom lived in Somerville.
And I remember we all crashed on couches and in extra bedrooms. And I think his mom was like campaigning for something or like
Probably. Yeah.
For Congress.
We had the place. I don't remember.
That's right. She ran for Congress. Yeah.
And we did things that in future people running for Congress would be totally derailed by what was posted by us little idiots.
Yeah.
If we were able to
She would
post
not let
anything,
you
there would have
around.
been Phish and a bunch of inside jokes that would have been de-scrambled and put on headlines. Candidates' children partying.
So it's great how we have these conversations. The central person is not here when he normally would be, and like we.
Who is the person?
Adam would know. I mean, presumably he would remember.
Who's the girl with the fish?
Let's text him. Like if he can't join us, he can at least give an answer.
Well, we'll make him watch this whole thing and come back with some answers next week. We demand answers about Ruth, Adam.
What happened to Ruth? Did we go to Six Flags? That's right in the neighborhood.
So, Raz, do you think you saw her both on the East Coast and the West Coast, or do you? Think
I do.
You do.
I do. I totally remember everything Rob just said.
But I'm just wondering if you came out to California, if it was if it was freshman year or the first semester of sophomore year. I was there too. I would have seen you. I would have wanted to see you. So but I was gone by the second semester of sophomore year. So that's why I assumed it was then. But it could have been, I don't know. But that we were hanging out with Ruth. We were definitely hanging out with Ruth then.
I'm sure it would have been after you left, because there's no way we wouldn't have gotten all together.
Right. So, but I came back for senior year, so it would have been. But Adam was gone by then because he didn't stay at Pitzer after I think sophomore year. So Adam could presumably answer some of these questions.
Yeah. Right.
But Ruth had a huge crush on Adam, and he was not interested in her. So that was a little.
She was fun to hang out with.
She was fun. She was wild. She was crazy. She was a good time.
Yeah.
And she had like these cowboy boots. She wouldn't shave her legs, but somehow it was okay because her legs had nice shape, and she would wear these boots, these cowboy boots, like below the calf. So most of the hair was kind of hidden by the boots.
It kept her warm. It kept the legs warm, and you can move better. But I think her comedy was very funny. She was pretty.
Oh, she was hilarious. Yeah.
We'll have to ask Adam if he's kept up with Ruth and see if we know where her last name was Chasen. If you want to look her up on Facebook, it's Ruth Chasen, CHASEN.
Yeah. Somebody check out her phone and pull her up.
I doubt there's probably too many of those to. It's a common enough name. There's probably more than just one.
I remember the name. Yeah, I never met her though.
All right. So Josh, you like, and Amanda Widows. That's so funny because she lives here. She works at Stanford.
Oh, does she?
Amanda Widows. So if you were single, the next time you came out, I'd definitely
right
make
if she comes back to the reunion,
or if Mary suddenly gets a lot cooler.
Yeah.
That's probably not going to happen.
Spice it up.
If
Honey,
one day,
it's not a bad idea.
It's never too late to find a new fetish. That's what my whole theory is.
A lot of kids are doing it.
Fish related fetish.
There's a lot of weird stuff. Yeah, fish related fetishes. Exactly. Put the tadpoles in. See which one comes out first.
Hey Rob, do you still? Speaking of fish, do you still see Trey, Anastasia, or
I haven't seen him in a long time, since about 2015. Two families got together and stuff like that, but I haven't seen them in a while. I know that his mom's living in New York. I gotta look her up and find out how she's doing, because she's the same class as my mom, and so she's turning 80 soon, probably.
Salisbury.
So yeah, Salisbury, Salisbury of the Friends School System.
Yeah.
Playing,
Oh, Newtown Soulbury, yeah.
New. I think it's New Hope.
and so she went to
New Hope.
Salisbury, and we both went there.
Oh
They
yeah,
were
New
roommates,
Hope
but,
Soulbury, yeah, right.
yeah, I need to reach out. I have his information, some contact information. Hopefully it's still current. I have his I remember one time his cell phone wasn't responding anything to text, so I'd send an email to his wife, and then I have her email.
I think I remember hanging out with her at one of the New Year's Eve shows backstage. It was a lot of fun hanging out with her.
Yeah, she's really cool.
Well, because the band, they're all like, they're either in the middle of the show, if it's, between sets, or they just finished a set, and then, people just crowding around them. Yeah, it's
There's
weird.
like
It's
a
weird
group of
scene.
people surrounding every single member as they're moving to the after show type of stuff.
And then when you're just on the periphery, and she Trey's wife, I don't know her name, but she was just, hanging out, and nobody's gonna crowd around her, so
yeah,
you can just sort of hang out and let everybody else do their star fucking shit, and trying to get the page or whatever.
Let me touch you. Let me just touch your skin, and somehow I'll become talented. But let it rub off. It's got to be transdermal. I gotta figure this out.
Transdermal. Trent, that's gonna be the key word.
With all this.
Unlike the coronavirus, it's not aerosol based talent. You can't just
I remember
on you.
Man, please.
One time Rob was up in Vermont, and he's like, hey man, I know what was it? Trey was having a party someplace up in Vermont, like in some farm. And this is before we had GPS phones. I mean, we were going by the map in the back of the phone book, trying to find this like farmhouse in some field. And do you remember this, Rob?
Yeah.
And we just drove around like the whole night. We never found anything.
I don't know if I had bad information, I think.
Yeah, I brought my harmonica with me. I was thinking maybe you guys want to jam,
We want to jam. I'm ready.
Ruth
had her hollowed out Phish.
Jeep or what? I can see you guys.
But that's
you driving the Jeep?
This is an experience.
We were driving we were probably driving the Escort around.
Okay.
Probably the Escort or the Sub.
But nobody will have that experience. Kids today aren't going to have that experience of not just like trying a map from the fucking pour out from the back of the yellow pages.
Yeah, yeah. You're like A7.
Yeah. We had like really flimsy intel and just like a bunch of
flimsy intel.
It's a house in the field.
If they were playing at an actual like venue, then I could like send a note back. And it was like when they were like it just begun and stuff. It was so. I came up to Vermont and we at UVM and we went and saw them at different like bars that they were playing at and stuff. And it was much easier to say hello and
when they're playing at Nectar's as opposed to Madison Square Garden
or the Outback. When the Nectar's, then the Outback was the other like backside.
The OP. Oh, that's right. You're talking about the bar that was next to Nectar's. Yeah.
And like
there was actually
part of the same building around the corner almost. I think it was
right. There were two big bands when Phish was coming up in the 80s. It was Phish and the Blue Rose. And I was just
in Burlington?
In Burlington, yeah. So
there was a movement that was starting. There was like a movement of that, that jam rock.
Yeah. And but Blue Rose had a more of a mainstream sound. So I was just like, this Blue Rose is something else. The Phish, missed that one.
Yeah, totally.
I'll put all my money on Blue Rose. Where are they now? They're probably still jamming.
So I have a friend that Josh knows, Dave Schneer, who lived with us for a while. We're in Arlington, and he went off after college. He went off and lived in like France and Chile and Colombia, and was gone for like 5 or 6 years, and then came back to the United States to live with us in DC and went to school, graduate school at GW. And his cousin is the lead guitar player for a band called Mo. I don't know if you've ever heard of them, but they're a jam band. They're in the same, Widespread Panic and Blues Traveler, the Spin Doctors, Phish. They're like second tier below like Phish and Blues Traveler, but they're very popular. Like they play the when they come here, they play the Fillmore and so on and stuff. And I saw him at the 930 Club in DC and such. But he came back and he's telling me about his cousin's band, and they're amazing, and the sound, they don't sound like anybody else. It's just this amazing sound. And he gave me a tape of theirs, and I listened to it, and I was like, And then I was like, I played for him some Phish and Blues Traveler, I think, and he's like, oh, so it's not just them. But it underscored they were part of a whole musical genre, a whole new scene that had not existed before. I mean, the Grateful Dead, they were all sort of semi-inspired by the Dead, but that whole jam band thing really emerged because of, and partially because of Phish and these other bands that were simultaneous with them, and it was not a sound you had heard before.
And so just like the grunge movement in Seattle, and coming out with Soundgarden and Nirvana and Pearl Jam, in that same, in the jam band world, it was like Blues Traveler and
I actually I don't know how Emily went to UVM, so she was friendly with John Fishman, and so she knew about them, and I went and saw them when they played the Paradise in Boston. Rob, did you ever go to the Paradise?
Yeah, I like the Paradise a lot.
So it was a relatively small venue to be seeing Phish, nowadays, but this was 1989 or something, and I volunteered, or I got an internship at a radio station, a classic rock station in Boston, WCLX, and I had mentioned to a guy who worked there something about liking Phish or going to see them or something like that. So when Lawn Boy came out, he sent me, they got a promotional copy at the station, which they weren't going to play because Phish was nobody to them. I mean, they're playing Led Zeppelin, they're not gonna play Phish. So he sent it to me, and I got this promotional copy of Lawn Boy CD.
Wow.
And then also that's when we started senior year in college, when we played Whitney, and I'm sure you all played Whitney. And it was that CD was the unofficial soundtrack to playing Whitney, and the best is the song Reba, because Reba, it begins, Reba sing a boulder in the water, and so
people to a tree.
And the chorus is bag it, tag it, sell it to the butcher in the store. Oh, bag it, tag it. And then there's like a 12-minute instrumental break. And then they come back. And so, when you're just playing Whitney or whatever, you're hanging out, and you hear this in the background, bag it, it's sort of catchy. And then it goes away, and you assume, you're not paying close attention, you assume that song is over long ago. And then it comes back, like, bag it, tag it, I'm like, wait a minute, is this repeating? No, it's still the same. I can still be the same song. It was 20 minutes ago. And they're all getting drunk, like, what's going on? So that became, but it was funny because and nobody else had Lawn Boy. I mean, it's just nothing, little CD. And
I think it was their second CD, right?
Yeah, I mean, Junta came out.
Junta, that was the first one.
But Lawn Boy was the first. It wasn't even a major label release, but it was a lot closer one than Junta.
It was the first one released on CD because Junta was on tape, cassette.
I think
for the longest time.
Yeah, I think everyone's just trading around bootlegs of Junta, bootleg tapes of Junta. Which I got to go in a minute, but that reminds me that I wanted to ask you guys. I have I've gone through all of my cassettes. I have cassettes, and I have CDs, and I have records, and I don't know what to do because I don't want to throw them out, but I'm like, I'm never going to listen to my cassettes.
I know.
And CDs, if I want to listen to a CD, I can just say Spotify, Alexa, use Spotify to play Led Zeppelin 3, and it just plays it. So what do you guys do with what have you done with your CDs, your tapes, and your records? Of course, I still have my Brady Bunch record.
Yeah, I've kept all my albums, but I think vinyl's going to come back. The tapes, probably, they may not even work anymore. I'll probably just put them in a box and let my kids throw them out.
So you still have them. You still have them, Roz.
Oh yeah.
Now, do you have a cassette player? Because that's the problem. I have a dual cassette player right back here. On that
Really?
shelf. And there's even one has a cassette stuck in it. You know, it's all still wound up. It's just like you got the two buttons, and it's got one won't even.
The chair's in the way.
And it's got the ability for me to make a copy of a cassette, so now I can have two useless
Yes,
things.
but can you do it in double time? That was the catch. That was the
Right.
catch.
Yeah, you can record
Quick,
at twice the speed.
Yeah.
Both of them would run double time. I think that one has that ability, and that's why I've spent too much money trying to make it work again. And now it's like I now have to find the expert that lives somewhere else, and to fix this thing is going to probably be so much more than like anything else.
Yeah, but you
Like,
can't buy a new one.
Pro Tools, so yeah.
Okay, so do you still have your cassettes, Rob?
I still have them all, and each one of them is like sometimes they're mixes, and you kind of like wrote stuff, and
they're special.
it's
They're
a
like
mixtape,
mix a mix.
I mean, you can't like when people they give each other like playlists or something. Like what do you do? What's the equivalent today of making a mixtape?
Here's a list of songs that you can go listen to on your own. Make sure to listen to them in order.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I used to make mixtapes for like my girlfriends, you know, and or myself.
Do you have one girl that you dated that you still have?
It was it was a courtship ritual.
It's like cheap roses, man, you know.
Yeah.
Well, it took a long time. You had to listen to the entire length of the song. You didn't have this double speed recording.
Right. Dude, one time Josh and I remember we were cruising around in the car, and I had like this tape in like the tape deck that we're jamming, driving, and I purposely made it so that it would start off fast, like fast music, and then slowly get softer and softer. And Josh totally picked up on that. He's just like, dude, did you do that on purpose? I was like, yeah, man, because that's what I do.
Was there a goal? Like, I'll play this when I'm with some girl, and slowly it'll become more romantic. If there's the
starts off like a polka. And then it kind of like going and starts jamming, and
so it starts off really fast and upbeat, then slowly you move into like Luther Vandross and that sort of thing eventually, and then to get rid of her you play Revolution Number 9 by the Beatles. Number nine, and you find yourself naked. Number 9, okay, time to go.
He's like, this song sucks.
You find me very attractive, just like into a microphone. You can do that on some of these cassette players, just like lay in an extra narration, and like so you can personalize it. You know, you can like, I love you, Michelle.
Michelle.
Okay, but so Rhazi, do you actually listen to your vinyl ever? I mean, you say it's coming back, but what does that mean?
No, but I mean, some of them, vinyl's collectible, and some vinyl is coming back. I mean, they're starting to sell.
People are listening to it.
Right, I know that some people are, and there are people who are purists and so on and so forth. That's great for them. But do you have a turntable? Do you listen to your records on a turntable? Do you put a stack of them, on the top of the drop one at a time?
Yeah. No, so like some of them are collectibles.
Have they gone up in value? Yeah, are they collectible? They go up in value, and
like I got one album. It's a Rocky Horror Picture Show with an actual picture of was it Frankenberger? What's his name?
This is my daughter Marisol. She just came back from LA. She just drove back.
Hey Marisol.
Hi Marisol.
Rhazi, Rob,
good to see you.
Josh is Grace and Luke's dad.
Oh yeah.
Hi. Him.
Hi.
I was just saying hi because I got back.
I missed her.
Good.
Gone for 4 days. Broke my heart.
Oh, that's not easy. Not easy at all.
Yeah, we're discussing what to do with our old tapes and stuff. Rhazi says he's just gonna die and let his children throw them away, so he doesn't have to worry about it.
I don't appreciate that. I already have enough of Mama's stuff to throw away.
What is the equivalent? So when we were kids, if you were dating somebody or you had the hots for them or whatever, one thing you would do is make them a mixtape where you put it,
You can make people playlists.
Right, but is that, I mean, Mr. Rob's here's a list of songs, play them in order.
Well, no, because you can share them on Spotify and stuff, but it's partially, I think, like the labor of making a mixtape comes from, recording everything on the radio and stuff. But nowadays, when you make someone a playlist, like the expectation it's all songs that they haven't heard before stuff. You know, you have so much music at your fingertips, like the like emotion or the labor behind it is the fact that you have specifically found all these songs for this person, so you're recommending all new music to them.
There's a premium place on obscure, so you can't be like, oh, there's this Taylor Swift song I think
yeah,
you're
you can't
really
be like, oh, you know, here's Dynamite by BTS, like, because everybody's heard it, you know. It's like
Good crowd.
These are the Vatican monks, you know.
Yeah.
This is some throat singing I thought you'd
enjoy.
enjoy.
Some Mongolian throat singing.
The didgeridoo.
But that's the other thing, is that Marisol can, if she wants to do that, can put songs from the 80s that we all know super well, but her classmates aren't going to know. They, you know, oh, this Cyndi Lauper, she slaps, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
It's bussin', Janelle.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for your insight, man. I appreciate it. Well, you can debrief me on LA. I mean, we're almost done here.
Yeah. Hey, real quick. So this is something I did as a kid. I was in Marisol. So I was in 4th or 5th grade. There was this really cute girl that I liked. I can't remember her name. And what I did is I got one of those, you know, those little like portable tape recorders that it just basically took one cassette, and you could push record, and there's a little microphone you could talk into and record it. So I wrote like this letter, like a letter saying that I liked her and all this stuff, and then I read it like into this recording, and then I sang raindrops keep falling on my head, but I rewrote the lyrics, like kind of like about my feelings for her.
Wow.
And then I listened to it. I was just like, it's not too bad.
Not too bad.
And then I wrapped it up. In like this like packaging and put like her name on it, and I put it into her mailbox. And you know, for her to hear, thinking that, you know, she's gonna know it's for her and it's gonna be just for her ears. Apparently, both parents and all her brothers got to enjoy it.
Oh.
And the thing is that her house was like on my bike route to school. So like every day for like the rest of the year, I had to like dodge her brother's bricks.
So you wouldn't just ride past their house and they would all come out on the porch, just point and laugh. There's the boy. Yeah. That's the one.
Rocks.
That's so embarrassing. But how awesome would it be to have that tape now?
Yeah.
What's her name? She probably
I can't remember her name. And I was exaggerating. Her parents and her brothers weren't mean, but I mean, it was obvious to me that they had heard it, because just by the way they were looking at me, I was like, this probably wasn't a great idea.
Did it work?
No, man.
Yeah, her loss.
I mean, that's such a sweet gesture, though. Like, I mean, maybe you butchered the if you made the lyrics, you changed the lyrics to raindrops keep falling onto my head to be like, I want to put my dick in you, you know, or something like that. I mean,
exactly.
You're right.
Something, you know, just really graphic. But that's so sweet.
Yeah, man. Dude,
it would have worked on Rachel Rabinowitz.
Yeah, or Melissa Bretz. Although I gotta come up with a different
just
song.
dub over. I really love you, Melissa. You know, I really want to get to see you, Melissa. You just change it for all the girls in your class.
Rachel.
Changing the word.
That's awesome. All right, well, I gotta go. Gentlemen, it's been great and lovely chatting with you. Adam and Eves and Kurt and Luca all missed out. I'll have to remind Luca, you know, because I don't want him to drop off the face of the earth.
Make sure he stays in the habit. He needs to stay in the habit.
Friday evening convenience.
Friday evening convenience.
All right.
Yeah. Hit that subscribe button.
Where's my bro hug?
I love you guys.
Later, guys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man.
Take care, gentlemen. Have a great weekend.
Deuces.